I prepared the best blueprint that you can have when it comes to credit in 2024, all inside of this video. The tools and resources I'm going to be giving you inside of her, you're honestly going to be able to take out and automatically take action on these things for 2024. And if you're honestly somebody inside of her that wants to be able to truly use your credit to be able to create yourself passive income, this is going to be the last video that you're ever going to watch in 2024 when it comes to the credit game. Let's get to it. There was a guy I was working with, and before I can honestly look at his credit report, he had called me one day and told me, hey, listen, my credit score, it actually shot up 5 points. I'm like, that's it? Because the average person that really doesn't have anything on their credit report, their score usually shoots up over 100 points. And we start to look a little bit more inside of his report, and we realize that, hey, listen, he has a lot of negative items on there, like repossessions, closed accounts, and a lot of various things that actually just was weighing his personal credit report down. And this is where most of us end up getting to the phase to where we actually just don't understand that we shouldn't go to the building phases of our personal credit before we actually delete the negatives. Because if we have the negatives items weighing on there and we're adding positive items on, it's only making it at a neutral state. It's not actually growing. Your personal credit score is not growing as fast as you can have it, which is why I made this video. So the first thing we're gonna actually be talking about inside of her is actually removing the negative items off. Now, if you really want 2024 to be your greatest year, you wanna make sure that you first take the first step and actually fix your credit. Because see, the thing is, you can wanna buy the house, you can wanna buy the car, you can wanna buy all these nice type of different things, or even the business, but your personal credit score actually ends up getting somewhere to where you're not able to get these things. And it can kind of hinder us on down the line. So there's a couple of ways that we can actually get this right and actually get your credit clear ASAP. The first step is actually the do-it-yourself method. In other words, I don't want to pay somebody $1,500 to be able to go out and repair my credit, and it takes time to be able to actually have the items removed. I want to do it myself. Well, the only how you're going to be able to get it done yourself is actually having a form called the 609 letter. This letter is what you're actually going to be able to send off to the credit bureaus to get them to remove the items. Now, just a little spicy trick inside of her for a lot of people. It usually takes 30 days for the bureaus to actually respond. If they don't respond in that time, you usually have to send another letter off, or you just completely get the item removed off your personal credit report. Best thing that you can ever actually do is called the 2-week out method. This is basically saying on the 609 letter, I want to backdate it 2 weeks. That way, when the letter gets off to them in their hands, it actually makes it look like I made the letter a month ago down there when they get it. It just makes the process a lot faster, and a lot of people don't know this one simple thing. All right, the next thing that we can actually do to be able to repair our credit is calling the bureaus and actually settling a payment. When a company actually adds collections, you're actually able to call that collection company and close on a small amount. What I suggest you guys do when you're calling into these people is let them know, hey, listen, I've saved up a year's worth of savings. If I have a $6,000 amount that I have to be paid off for collections, I want to settle it down to something I can actually afford and where it's actually valuable to me on down the line. So what I would tell them is that I saved up a year's worth of savings and this is all I got. And you settle a payment for what you can actually pay for. This makes it a lot easier on you to not be able to pay the full balance off, but a lot of people don't know this and simply call and close the balances for a small fee. All right, so the next phase of the credit blueprint is actually the adding on process. We don't want to start off like a rookie and actually go out and get our first approval for a secured card. Even though if we're in that position, you can decide to get a secured card, but I would refer most people to use my trick that you're not going to hear on any other YouTube. And this is simply making sure that the money revolves. So if I actually have a secured card and I take $500 of my own money and I put it on a secured card, understand on your credit statement, there is something called a due date and a closing date. On the closing date is where the bureaus actually take a screenshot of the balance that your credit card is in at that time. If I know that this is the day that they take a screenshot, I can continue to have that $500 revolving to one secured card, to another, to another. Now, I don't refer you guys to actually go out and get as many secured cards as you can, but the more limits that you actually have reporting, the higher chances you have of actually getting approved for my people that want to be able to go out and actually get themselves business loans, lines of credits, and all these type of different things. But we can simply use the strategy of revolving that same $500. Let's say that they take the screenshot on the 17th. Soon as they take the screenshot, my my next secured card might have a different closing date that I can simply transfer that $500 over to the next secured card, and they take a screenshot, and I keep it revolving until I'm actually able to go out and get myself an approval with somebody else's money. This is the magic of this trick, and definitely let me know inside the comment section exactly the results that you guys get from that method. If you hear from anybody else on YouTube, know that they got it from me. All right, but this is my gift to you guys. So you can decide to go this way, or you can decide to go the next route, which is going to be the fastest way to actually build. And this is what I consider as backdated accounts. Backdated accounts is the sauce. This is the dressing, the chief fun chi. God bless you. This is where you're actually able to go and start an account, fill out an application. And with that application, you maybe have filled it out today. But what backdated accounts actually say is, even though you have filled this account out today, when it reports within the next 30 days, it is going to report as if you had this account for 2 years. And everybody inside of here, I want you to write this down. The main things the banks are looking for are high limits and history. So if we have these two combination of things, history when it comes to our report, and we make sure we have high limits, this is where we're setting ourselves up for the bank to never deny application we apply for again, simply by adding backdated accounts. This can be in the form of primary accounts, trade lines, or even little simple things by simply having your rent report by a company called Rent Reporters that actually backdates your account by 2 years. Using these type of strategies can honestly get you to where you need to be when it comes to your credit in 2024. Make sure if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. That way you'll see your boy face every single day and be notified by the channel. Now, you're probably wondering by now, okay, I gave you the removal process, gave you the add-on process, but how many do we actually add on to where we're at that ultimate credit report, to where we're never getting denied for one single thing that we actually apply for? This is going to be understanding the basis on what a bank actually wants to be able to see. So let's go over those 3 things. There's only 3 combinations. The first thing is they want to make sure that you don't have any recent inquiries. So when I'm going out and actually applying for a credit card, a car loan, any type of things of this type of sort, I want to make sure that no recent inquiries, in other words, I haven't been applying for this car and this car and this bank and all the other banks, to where it's going to report on my personal credit report and show all the other people that I'm kind of looking money thirsty, because this is what it's looking like on your profile. So this is the first thing, making sure we don't have more than 3 recent inquiries on our profile. If you do, you want to make sure you get them wiped off. And also inside this YouTube channel, I have a video on exactly how to get hard inquiries removed within 24 hours, the easiest way to actually get it done. I will have that video in the description section for those people that actually want to be able to watch it. But that's going to be the first thing they want to be able to see. The second thing is at least 2 years worth of history. So I let you guys know that they need high limits in history, but how many years does it actually take for me to build a strong credit report? And that is actually 2 years. Remember, once again, if we don't want to be the turtle inside the race, we want to be the rabbit. We want to make sure that we're adding backdated accounts. That way that 2 years can only turn into 30 days for us. And last but not least, if you're somebody planning on going over to the business side and actually getting yourself high amounts of funding, you need to know that you want to have at least 3 credit cards with a limit of $3,500. This is how we ultimately walking out the bank with the $50,000 approval instead of the $5,000, because of our limits. The high limits and the history on our report. Now, all 3 of these things can be done in simpler forms than the bank actually states it on paper. Because if it takes 2 years of history on my credit report and I can get it by simply applying for something today, sign me up for it. All right, so now we got that in order. But now I want to be able to show you guys exactly where we take this credit score to use it effectively to be able to actually bring ourselves passive income on down the line. And these are going to be the credit cards that you want to actually be able to shoot after, which are going to be the 0% interest credit cards. Whether you're going over the personal side and going out and planning on getting approvals, or even on the business side, you want to head after the 0% interest credit cards, because they give so many benefits on things you would have did on a normal day basis. The only difference is you're not getting charged interest for these things. On a usual credit card, the interest rates are pretty high, 17%, 16%. You want to be the person that is actually making sure that you get the best benefits while you are building your personal credit score. Now, this is going to be mainly on the personal side. When we're going over to getting these personal credit cards with high limits, we ultimately want to take it over to business to where it doesn't hinder our personal credit report on down the line. Because for all the people that don't know, when it comes to a business, none of the business credit cards actually report to the personal. So all the credit cards I would have got on my personal side, I could have ultimately went over and got it on business and used my personal credit report as the safety net if I ever had to create a new business and go out with the same personal credit profile and use it over and over and over again. But I cannot do that if I decided to go out and get 5 personal credit cards on my personal side and life starts to happen and it starts to go down and shit starts to hit the fan. Well, now I made the decision by getting all those tied to my personal name. So now I got to be the person that gets myself out of the hole. We don't want to be that person. So let's say we're going over to business and we go over to 0% interest business credit cards. This is the type of money to where you're actually able to do some life-changing things. Let's say I got approval for a $50,000 credit card at 0% interest. If I use that whole $50,000 off of that card, first thing is I don't have to worry about the utilization actually reporting to my personal. Second thing is I am only going to be charged 1 to 1.5% to keep that account in good standing. So in other words, $50,000 is completely withdrawn off the credit card. If I have to make sure I pay at least 1.5% back to the credit card to make sure that it's in good standing, all I have to make sure I do is pay $600 a month. Now, if you're somebody inside of here that cannot make at least $600 off getting $50,000, we need to have a talk. We need to honestly have a conversation and talk about it, because there should be no reason on why you're not actually able to be able to create that. Now, this is going to be the full credit guide in 2024 when it comes to personal credit. If you want to be able to know exactly how to take this personal credit and utilize it for business, who to be able to go out for, I made this video right here specifically for the people that are watching this video. It's your boy, Kiee Gibson, AKA Receipts. And we out YouTube.